This is not the generator we ordered, but as you can see, it's from Würtfurt, Germany technology. Not German technology, Germany technology. And it's a 5.5 kilowatt instead of a 2.5, or so it says. However, it's a little bit suspicious because, as you'll see, it's made in China. Unboxing the generator. Pretty good. Have a look. Made in China. Well, this is completely different from the generator I ordered, because according to this is a 5.5 watt generator. So that's interesting. But well, here we are. I'm gonna unpack it and then put some fuel in it and see that it all works, find out what the carburetor is and all that sort of stuff. See you in a bit. So here I'm at in my little workshop, day 2 of the generator, which arrived yesterday, and I just unpacked it last night, which you've seen. Now, apart from my very sexy Japanese attire here, because I am bald, and so this is to keep the sweat out of my eyes, I think I'd just give you a quick look at the kind of things that happen in Italy, and possibly if you're in America under the apocalypse. So I've saved the things on the outside cardboard of the generator, because as you will see shortly, this here is probably just about as good as the information that came with the manual. You'll see there are 2 sets of it, one helpfully in Spanish for whatever reason, and you know, it's about 4 pages with some pictures on it that tell you sort of how to start the engine, how to stop it, and that's really about it. I mean, the troubleshooting is I found it really particularly interesting. But anyway, the whole point of this video, so I've taken off 2 of the panels, which I'll show you now. The generators over here. A little bit, you know, it says Würtfurt. Now that's a company that doesn't seem to exist on the internet. It had a website from April 21 to, no, sorry, from December 21 to April 22. But you have to go on Wayback Machine and fight hard to find anything about it. It says it's a 5.5 kilowatt or 5,500 watt generator. It says here that it's got 220 volt sockets. Doesn't really tell me much. They look like sort of standard Italian sockets. I have started it, so it does start. But just a couple of things. See these bolts here? I don't have any kind of Allen key of that size, so I'll probably have to get one. And there is absolutely no instructions, but I'm figuring this is probably how the wheels go on, which is, you know, easy enough to figure out. But these little handles, which are so that you can, you know, tip it up and use it so that with the wheels, there was absolutely no hole there. There was nowhere to attach these things, so I had to drill a hole in there myself. I'm gonna have to get some vibration resistant or maybe some Loctite to put on the bolt there, otherwise it's gonna pop out when it starts. But it does run. I'm gonna show you that in a second. What I'm not sure yet is when it runs, how much can it power, because it says 5.5 kilowatts, but I'm gonna try and test that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna attach a multi-socket in there and run a whole bunch of power tools off it and see if at least it runs those things. And let's do that in a minute. So it turns out I was wrong. It's not a standard Italian plug-in generator, and there's these two I'm assuming Chinese sockets that came with it, which are something I've never really seen anywhere. See, this little bit of metal here goes in there when it's closed, and you can see the little metal strip on the other side outside here, and then you've got these two pins which go into the generator, and that's going to be a live and a neutral. And I'm hoping that that little hole there means that that's where the earth goes because I don't really know, frankly. So I'm going to try and put it together. What I've done is I've taken a standard multi-socket and I'm going to connect it to this thing, and then we'll put it into the generator and see if it works. Okay, moment of truth. So with this Germany technology made in China, I have now connected that little socket thing to a multi-plug there, which is then connected to my drill. So let's start it up. Assuming it starts up, we turn it on here and we open the choke. I believe that is on, which I forgot from last time. Let's see if I manage to start it. Okay, so it starts up very nicely. Now looks like this power light came on and the drill is gone. So we know it can at least run a drill. This is pretty promising. I'm gonna try and hook up a few more things to it and see. Well, this is not the ideal way to do things for health and safety reasons, but I'm out by myself here, so I'm gonna plug in a couple of bits. And it is dangerous because, of course, if anything touches that. So we got the drill going. That seems to be working pretty well. Okay. I'm gonna switch it off. Okay, I'm gonna switch it off now and turn this off as well. That's the petrol fuel line. So it works enough to at least power 2 power tools, which is better than nothing. I don't know whether it's actually a 5.5 kilowatt. I'm going to try and figure out a way to figure how to really see if that's the case or not. But while we're here and while I've taken this panel off, you can see that the carburetor is over here. So, oh, that's pretty hot. So fuel line comes in there, goes through, I think it goes through this, no it doesn't, it goes in here, and I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work to figure out how to connect the gasifier to the engine and see what's best. I'm gonna try and maybe keep that filter in there, which has got a little outlet exhaust here. But anyway, so it works good enough to power some stuff, and we'll see. I'm gonna try and see if I can get my electrician friend to come out and figure out whether it is a 5.5 kilowatts or not. But so far, seems to be working anyway. That's the main thing. And in case you hadn't figured it, the whole point is to show you all the mistakes, all the things that can go wrong, because I don't know anything about this any more than most people. I just spent some time putting together all the bits of information, and whatever is going to go wrong probably will go wrong, but hopefully we can learn together about it, and I'm not going to hide anything that's difficult or strange or that doesn't work. So here we go. We'll take the next step. You can see there's a part of the gasifier right there which I need to clean up a little bit and start working on, but I will show you all those steps. For now we know that the generator works, and that's good enough for this. Right, we're trying to get to the bottom of exactly what generator this is. Now, as you can see from the stickers, that says it's a 196cc 6.5 horsepower generator. Of course, from I always love to remind people of Würfert, Germany technology, and it says 5.5 kilowatts. Now, the thing is, if you look into the spec sheet that it came with, and I don't know if you can see this, but you'll see there's a tiny version of the generator that has got fuel tank capacity, all sorts of details. Now, this one is clearly too small, although the weight, about 23 kilos, seems about right. Now, the weight here says 42 kilos, and on the box it said 40 kilos. And on this one it says 45 kilos, so it could be either one of these. Now, the dimensions, 590 by 430 by 35, which are both the same for both, that equals pretty well, except the height of this thing is about 480, so it seems to be a bit bigger than either of those. But if you got the top here, you see that number 163? That would be the cc of these two types. And if you look at the kilowatts output, 1.5, 1.7 maximum, 2.2 and 2.1 on this one. Now, if we turn the page, there are some additional generators. This one here looks promising because it says 196cc at the top, right there, displacement. And it's the only 196cc, the other ones are all bigger. It also, however, has got different dimensions, 610 by 430 by 435. Now, we got a 590 by 430 by 470, so potentially could be this one if the frame changed for whatever reason. And the output of this one says 2.5 to 2.8. It's very interesting that it says 15 liters, 1.36 liters per hour. That's 11 hours of continuous running speed. And it says 6.5 horsepower. So in theory, if this is 196cc, 6.5 horsepower, it'll give us the 2.5 kilowatts. So it would be the generator that we're looking for. Now, I'm going to do a further test, which nobody in their right mind should ever do what I'm about to do, like health and safety first, people. But I'm an adventuring professional, so you'll see that it's connected there to 3 different tools. The grinding machine, which I'll just run on its own, a little wood cutter, which I'm going to actually use on here while it's running, and my trusty drill, which Black & Decker drill, which I'll also use on that little piece of wood there that's blocked up against this. Now, these things are rated at 850 watts, and 750. Obviously, because they're not going to be operating at full force, they're not actually going to be operating at anywhere near the total. Would be around 1.6 kilowatts if they were all functioning at maximum, but they're not going to be. I'm going to do this little test, and because I'm by myself, I'm not sure how well the video will come out. I'm going to try and just rest it here so that you can see some of what's going on. Let's see. I'll just put this here a bit closer so that you can see it. And right, moment of truth. I'm going to start out the generator again. Turn it on here. actually did make a little cut on that wood and used the drill a little bit as well on the other one. So we know that this generator, despite it being a somewhat mysterious generator, seems to at least have well over 1 kilowatt of power. I'm hopeful that it's got about 2 kilowatts, probably. That's in the range where it's at, 2.1, 2.3, 1.7, something like that. Anyway, it's enough for our experiment, although it's probably not exactly what we ordered. Well, definitely not what we ordered, but there you go. We're going to make Würtfurt generators very famous, except of course Würtfurt company doesn't exist, but there you go. It's a generator from the other side.